goodness. It's like,
Have
huh?
Live and in color.
Live and in color, if you
It's
will. Hi,
Sunday
everybody.
night. Oh, sorry.
We
Go ahead.
are we are indeed live with another episode of the In Ring Wrestling Podcast. I'm Kevin Kelly, and the gentleman that you see over there, sitting in front of a beautiful array of championship gold, that's none
Yes.
other than Casey Thompson. He came up with the idea for this deal. He said, "Let's talk about some people that don't get enough credit for their work in the industry," and we're going to do that prominently here this week. But Casey, how's everything going? Any new additions to the collection, to the family?
Hmm. No. Yes, but no. I was supposed to have a delivery yesterday, and I guess because we're in the holiday season and whatnot, it was a little delayed. And
Yeah,
it just kept on saying, received by 9 p.m., received by 9 p.m. I'm like, well, it's like midnight already. And then all of a sudden it said, Monday by 5 o'clock.
uh,
So it's sitting in Orlando. So eventually to make out with me, I have that it has the Texas Heavyweight Championship. It looks like a big Texas map and all big chrome nickel plated belt. I have that, and I have a few surprises I'm working on. I'm always got something in the back
I
pocket working
know.
on trying to add to the collection. You
You
know,
always got something going on. That's what
you
that's what
know.
we love. That's why it's an exciting time. I wonder if
Yes.
it's the same Texas heavyweight title that Dr. Tom has one of,
Oh, I'm
and
sure it may be.
and
Is it
I've seen that one. It's a beauty.
okay?
It is a beauty. Yeah, the title lineage goes all the way back to like the 1940s and
Oh
or
wow.
late 30s, and held by a lot of prominent guys. Johnny Valentine held it a bunch, and
Yeah.
um, so just top stars of that era. But it's impressive. That collection continues to grow. It looks
You know,
better week by week.
oh, it's just so much fun. Just even just sitting back when I'm just hanging out, relaxing. I'll throw some YouTube on, watch some videos about learn about the championships. Help me learn more of the history of the business. I was watching a podcast last night with Dan Lambert was the guest on it. I don't know the podcast. Sorry, I don't remember your podcast, but I know Dan Lambert was on it. He is probably has the largest uh, in-ring use of wrestling belts in the history of anyone, and he's also the owner of American Top Team,
Mm-hmm.
where they've had all the great stars. King Mo, they had Amanda Nunes, they have the women's champions there right now. They have everyone through that's been through there, and that's where my son through his one of the head wrestling coaches there, Olympian and two-time Division One national champion Steve Mako. He was one of my son's coaches, and we were there many times during the week, and they have all
So
the
basically, Dan Lambert books the finishes, right, for this American Top Team. Is that what you're telling me?
yeah, he's the money man
Got
behind
it.
it all. So, but
So yeah,
the
he's got an
interesting
impressive array, and you saw some of this
oh
displayed on this podcast?
yeah, but the thing is he just kept on getting up, walking away, and sitting down and showing the belts.
Nice.
And not only they're all legitimate, like mine are all replica belts, bootleg, whatever you want. I don't really care. Um, it looks like the real deal to me, so that's all that matters.
Sure.
Wrestling's always been an illusion my whole life, and so the illusion. So it is what it is. But Dan Lambert has all the real ones, and the interesting thing about it was when he's telling about it. Each belt that he has usually has a story how the person got the belt. In one of the belts, I want to say it might have been it might have been one of the world class, I think it was the world class championship belt. Who do you say? Bobby, not Bobby. One of the Fantastics. What's
Bobby
not
Fulton,
Tommy?
Tommy Rogers.
Bobby Fulton was
Okay.
leaving the territory. Was mad about his pay. The champion was in the shower. And Bobby's like, "Oh, look at that big old shiny belt right there. I'm not happy about my money." So he snagged the belt, threw it in the trunk, and ended up many years later, Dan Lambert has it now. So,
Wow.
yeah, so I mean, it's really I like to try to. He doesn't do a lot of stuff like that. I think it'd be really cool to get him on to just talk about the belts, his belts, and everything. Like the guy was like, "Oh, do you have the Road Warriors?" You know, he has a national tag team, the Levy belts, and he's like, "Oh, the one with the cracked side plate." And Dan pulled it down, and sure enough, the cracked side plate was right there. I mean, it was
Wow.
really fascinating to watch and to see. And like he's very he likes the simplistic of the belts from the territory days, like not a lot to them and everything. And he's the one who got from Buddy Rogers the WWF, the first WWF championship that was the United States. He had that, and WWE came to him and wanted it, and I guess worked out a deal where he gets belts from them now or something like that because he has one of the white leathered intercontinental championships. He has that.
Okay.
I know we've talked about. I don't know if it's the
Yeah.
same one, but he's talked about it. I think this one has a little texture in it than the other one. But he has so many belts from all the different territories. Like he was talking about, he had one from Peter Maivia's promotion out in Hawaii, and he's
Polynesian.
like, yeah, exactly. And he's like, I don't have any ties to this at all. And um, Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, was at his gym, and they were filming something for one of the reality shows that he was involved in years ago. And so he's like, you know what? This probably means more to you. Your grandfather's promotion gave him the belt, legit belt and everything. And so he gave it to The Rock because he's like, I don't have any ties to it. Because I grew up in Florida going to the, and he's um, he's like around 53, 54, somewhere in there, I think. So he
Yeah,
grew up
close to
with
our
the
age.
wrestling in Florida like we did.
Yep.
So it's all about Georgia Championship. I'm sorry, Florida Championship Wrestling, Gordon Solie, Dusty Rhodes, Blackjack, Barry, all those guys. And he bought all the Florida belts. He has all them. Um, which he was saying, yeah, I bought it from one of the old referees, a friend of mine, which is, one of our friends that worked for me for years was Bruce Owens. He was a
Right.
referee for Florida wrestling. And because I remember once Bruce was referee, and you're like, I think you came up to me and was like, man, you got to do something. You got to get him out of there because he was messing up some matches. I think he was fucked up. Like something was hurt, broke something on him. And I ended up pulling him out and putting other referees in. And, but, I'm like, wow, he's usually really good,
Yeah. That's what was
So,
so
um,
surprising about it.
yeah, I think he was injured and didn't say anything or whatnot, just like all the boys in the old days. And so, so it was a really, I enjoyed the podcast, and you know what? I really just enjoyed looking at all the belts and everything, just kind of marking out for it.
Pretty
And
much.
yeah, that's what I cared about. And he was telling him, like, the guy was like trying to hinting around how much he's paid and stuff. He's like, it's not about. He says I pay according to what it means to me. He's like, so he says on average, each belt was probably about 5 or 6 grand if you averaged them out. The most was he wanted the one that Magnum had, the big Mid South, that big um, North American heavyweight
Yep.
championship. And the guy knew that Dan had money, so he wanted worked him on it, wanted like double the price it was worth. He was trying to get 40,000 out of him on it. And Dan's like, I was just pissed off at him because of that. And he says, looking back now, he said, I should have done it because I always, that was my belt I always wanted. And
Yeah.
he's like, I didn't do it because just the principle, he was trying to screw me. And so I was like, no, I'm not going to do it. And he said, but I wish I did now. But he's like, most of them are about, on the average, like, 4, 5, 6,000. And, I was just counting from looking there. There must have been at least 150 belts that
Whoa.
I could see. Yeah.
That's
One
awesome.
time they used to be just stacked up. Now there's this is on he has like a built-in shelves all the way around the whole room. I guess an
Mm-hmm.
office or a den or something like that. And there's just belts everywhere. But he has an American Top Team. They have all the championship belts in big cases from UFC. It used to be Bellator, now it's PFL, and different Japan organizations. that what is the Japan one? Pride,
Pride.
I think, is over there, and they win it. They put up their little nameplate, when they won it and everything. So it was always cool going in there, just looking at the belts and stuff when Chase was over there busting his ass wrestling, practicing and
Yeah.
everything.
I
So,
want to
but
get
yeah, it's
the that's awesome. And I think that so what I'm gathering and what I'm sensing is that there is more of an appreciation now than ever before about the history of wrestling. Do you kind of sense the same thing? That was sort of what led you to want to start this podcast.
yeah, I believe so. Especially for me, yeah, definitely. Um, I mean, I don't hold any. I don't. Yeah, I don't. I can't compare to you. You just remember vividly everything that happened in wrestling. I
Mhm.
don't. So I had to go back and look at stuff and watch it and different things like that. But you like remember in detail stuff from the territory days that you might have been told by someone, which that's a great and everything. I and that's why I was like, I have to have Kevin to do this podcast because I have to have someone who can, pick up the slack and stuff that I don't know.
Let's
So I think it's a great little combination between the two of us.
oh, it definitely works. We say hello to our friends who are currently in the chat room,
Oh
even
wow,
all the way enjoying a beautiful Monday in Australia is Southern Joe. So hello to everybody who is watching us
hello
live.
around the world.
Yes, and
Literally, those are around the world. Those couple messages you just put up. I think we have Spain, we have Australia.
right,
Um,
we've got New England in the northeast part of the United States. We've got somebody right here in PA, down the road from me, and we've got Joe down there in Australia. I know that there are other people watching. I'm sure that Chase Owens is checking us out because I told him I'd give him a little shout out after his Green Bay Packers got the win just a little bit ago over the Chicago Bears. Chase is, of course, competing in New Japan Pro Wrestling's World Tag League right now, which, by the
oh
way,
wow,
I'm not necessarily a belt. I would want to collect belts if I had the opportunity to
hmm
have beautiful piece of art. Yeah, absolutely like that. What I'm kind of into are the Japanese trophies that they give.
really?
The
Wow.
G1, you're never going to get the G1 trophy, you
Right,
know,
right.
but if I could get a replica of the World Tag League, it's basically two hands that come together like this and it's shaped like a piston on top. So it's like a
Yeah.
car engine and you can take them apart and each half is its own part of the championship trophy. Come on, man. It's awesome.
Wow.
But I mean, the G1 trophy is 4 foot high, and the
Wow.
New
Yeah, that's
Japan
cool.
Cup
Those are cool
trophy
too.
is almost as tall.
Yeah.
But that would be
Wow. I did a back in the MXPW days after I don't think you were involved in this. I had a Florida J Cup,
oh, that's cool.
after yeah, and the the winner of it that year was you remember Jarrell Clark?
Sure do, Mr. 630.
Yeah. Yeah, and it was a big I spent hundreds and hundreds of dollars because I'm like, you know what? You have to give out something legit.
Right.
And so I bought a big giant cup. It's really a really nice um, little piece for there. It
Mhm.
was really cool. So yeah, I started that. It didn't last long, but it was nice to try. You know.
Sure. There were a lot of tournaments that didn't last. Like the Never Championship, for example, in Japan. Never is an acronym, and the
Oh,
New
okay.
Japan they didn't. It's the only title that it was for a long time the only title that wasn't sanctioned by the International Wrestling Grand Prix,
Yeah.
IWGP. So it was a standalone title, never, and it meant that this was going to be the new group, the evolution of the business, the next generation. This was going to be the young guys. This was going to be the future. And
Gotcha.
the first champion was Masato Tanaka, who was 39, and he beat somebody who was 41 to win the
Oh, wow.
finals. It was
Wow.
literally never what it was supposed to be. But those are the, that's what happens.
Yeah.
So we are going to talk about what's going on health-wise with our
Yes.
friends Joe Gomez and Bob Cook. And we have kind of the
Even
latest.
Bugsy McGraw has been down too. So I mean,
Ooh, okay.
yeah.
Well,
So
we've got, so we've got medical updates on our friends, and thankfully it's all good news. We'll be able to share that along.
yes.
But I, you know, and I don't want to be like, because that was the first thing I was thinking about. We texted each other earlier today, and it was like, how's Bob Cook doing? And it was the first. He's been top of mind with me all week, and I don't want to become that show. But
Right.
when our friends, when people that we've talked about, when we have guests and they're under the weather or not feeling well, we got to talk about it. And
It's not like we're just talking about. These are actually personal friends of
Yeah.
of the show and ours that So yeah, we gotta.
some podcasts will glorify, and I mean that in every term in which it is. They'll glorify the guys that get hurt. Like, oh, look at this. Like if
Like
somebody
Darby Allin, you
shows
mean?
me, yeah, something like that. Or people will show me things on their phone, not
Oh wow.
knowing that it really bothers me. Like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, look at this guy. Oh, look at how he got dumped on his head. And I'm like, I don't want
Wow.
to look at that.
Yeah.
But so again, um, as we get older, our friends, we've had a lot of friends die.
Yeah.
How many wrestling? So I know the Hack Meyer's passing was this past week,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and Steve Bradley, who was super close to me. I was super close to him. I was thankful to have him in my life. And I think
Yeah.
about Russ Haas, all
Oh
kind of
yeah.
happening around sort of the same time.
Yeah. That's the
And
unfortunate thing. It
how
always
many?
happens in threes, and it's really true.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it just seems to always happen that way.
How are you? How many wrestling funerals have you been to?
Um, you don't go to them just
I've never been to
because.
one either.
I went to Dave Johnson's
Okay.
because um, he he's actually Chase's godfather.
Hmm.
So, and we were out of touch. He was mad at me about some. I don't know. I don't get it. I really don't even know why. And it was stupid stuff, or promotional fights because he started doing stuff with another promotion. And I was always like, you know what? If you don't want to be here, you don't have to be here. You know, I always took care of everyone. I paid everyone. Everyone always got paid. Always
Mm-hmm.
got paid more than. I always took care of everyone. So I have no. So he got mad about something, and I don't know, maybe because I think I wrote him a check for his wedding, and the check bounced or something. But what do you expect from the boys? That was a long time ago.
Sure. And
So.
it happens.
But I wasn't the one that was running around naked at the reception like Hack Myers was, naked dancing. Yeah.
Damn.
Oh, and I think Joe Kabibo, the Sheik, got in a fight and punched the father-in-law in the face.
What a good wedding.
Yeah, it was a great wedding. The wedding, we don't care about that, but after the fact,
The
it was
reception.
incredible.
The reception was
Yeah,
incredible.
it was great. Yeah, it
I
was
had
really.
I had Rockin' Randy Rhodes DJ in my wedding. That was fun.
Oh, okay.
And all the wrestlers from the IWF were there. We had a great time. And
Oh, wow.
the only drama that happened the whole night was with Randy himself. Because as we're cleaning up and taking everything, the gifts and everything that people had brought, and we're moving them out to our car and we're getting loaded up and getting ready to head back to our apartment, Randy comes to me and says, "Hey, Kev, do you think I could stay with you tonight?" I'm like, "What? No, it's my
That's
wedding
nice.
night. What are you, crazy?
Yeah.
What? Why?" Well, Janina got mad at me, and And she left. Now, of course, he lived in Fort Pierce, 2 hours south of where we were in Orlando, and I was like, I'm sorry, you can't stay with me. You need
No,
to get
bro.
her on the phone. 1991. This was pre-cell phones.
Wow.
So, yeah, that's kind of how that goes.
Hey, you know who was at my wedding?
Who?
And he wasn't invited. And of course, mine had a ton of wrestlers there. And it was, and you could tell who all was the wrestlers, and they all went to the bathroom out back to go smoke, smiz and
Mm-hmm.
everything, and come back in. But you remember, um, Dr. Red Roberts?
Yes.
Yeah, from down with um, what's his name? What's the Olympian? Was with Kevin Sullivan. Bob Roop, with
Bob
Bob
Roop.
Roop, Dr. Red Robinson, all that stuff. Yeah, he ended up coming to my wedding with a guest with one of my friends who lived in Vero Beach, right next to Fort Pierce.
Oh, wow.
And it was just like I'm like, oh shit, wow, it was it was funny. But speaking about funerals, you know who does go to a lot of funerals? One of the
Who?
wrestlers
Who?
is D'Lo Brown.
Really?
Like they go to all the funerals.
Hmm.
Like, "Oh, so we gotta go." And I'm like, "Mm." I'm like, "No, I don't know. It's just not my thing." And also, one thing, and this talking about, I know I'm going back backwards now, but it just popped in my head. And what I've learned a little bit about watching the history of wrestling and belts and stuff, and I noticed that WWF, old WWF, and old NWA all had like a championship belt that they was sanctioned by them, but it was always in Japan. You know,
Sure. I
it
think,
was never defended. It was only defended in Japan. Like a
yeah.
WWF had a belt that some weird international junior,
Well,
something like
Tatsumi Fujinami
yeah,
was the WWF International Champion,
yeah.
and he beat, oh gosh, I can't remember his name. Spanish wrestler. I'll think of it. Wasn't Johnny Rods. It wasn't Jose Luis Rivera. I'll think of it. Anyway, um, Fujinami won the belt. And well, again, because WWF and New Japan had a relationship.
Yeah.
There's archive footage on New Japan World of Vince Sr. doing the ring announcing, making a special
Yeah.
proclamation before a match. So that was all like a big deal back in
Yeah.
the day. They all did business with each other and came up with
Yeah.
cool little ways to intertwine just to make what they were doing seem bigger than it was.
Yeah. 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 Making chicken salad out of chicken shit.
Right. Well, that was what some
Speaking
promotions
of that,
did.
yeah. So I bid it on eBay. I look and sometimes I'll find a belt I like. I had 3 of them that was on auction that I've been bidding on, and I've been winning for like 5 days, and I just realized that all of them I lost all the auctions because
Aw.
they all ended right when we were starting starting the show. But one of them was the uh IWGP Intercontinental Championship belt.
Okay. So that was the
Yeah.
one that Shinsuke Nakamura he was the most famous champion.
With the white
Um,
leather?
yeah. And
Yep, that's the one.
that
It
was what it was
was.
called. It was called the white belt. It didn't
Yeah.
start out as the white belt. First, it was just black leather. First champion
Yeah.
was MVP. And
Oh, he was always a big Japan mark. That's all
yep,
he cared about in his career. Because MVP started with me down in Florida,
as
and
Antonio Banks.
yeah, Hassan Hasid is his
Oh
name,
gosh. I
and
never knew that. I never knew his real name. I just always knew
oh
him as
yeah,
whatever his gimmick was.
eh, yeah. A lot of people don't. Yeah, he worked at a strip club right down the street from my strip club where I worked at. He used to come hang out all the time. He used to travel with me and Dave Johnson all through Florida, and then he started going. He moved to Georgia to go to Deep South,
Mm.
and then just kind of worked his way up. It's good. Good for him. But he was always he wanted to wrestle the strong style. That's what his passion was, and it wasn't good. Sometimes the strong style just didn't relate over here because some guys here would just go over. It just wasn't good stuff, and um, so I think I had him wrestle Steve Madison once. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think you were there. Steve Madison broke his ankle that
that's right.
match, and but I
So
don't even know
here's
if the
the
match
thing:
even.
you and Chase, right? You and Chase tomorrow could have a quote unquote strong style match because you both know how to work. It's a
Right,
work. You're not supposed to really hit each other, right?
right,
It's the fire. It's fighting up from underneath. It's not,
right.
it's puffing your chest out and saying, "Give me your best shot," but then not
Yeah,
really getting someone's best shot. That's not the point. You
right.
idiots. I did go to one funeral, by the way. I do remember that, and
Oh, did you?
that was Russ Haas's funeral. But see,
Oh, okay.
and then I saw Terry Golden there because Terry Golden ran Memphis Championship Wrestling,
Uh-huh.
and Jerry Lawler had recommended that we move developmental operations to Memphis so that he could be there, he could work there, and he could help out
He can get
and
another payday.
get another payday, which is fine. Who cares? If
Yeah,
it
hey,
helps, it helps.
sure.
And Stacy could go, the cat, she could be there and she could get some more seasoning and some more matches, which she did, which
Get a
was
payday.
fine.
Yeah.
And a payday, which is again totally fine, don't care. Um,
Anytime it comes with Memphis with those people, though, it is what it is, and a payday.
right. Then as soon as Memphis Championship Wrestling got established, and I was kind of helping a lot more than with the others because Terry Golden was sort of by himself. Terry Golden had run a outlaw promotion, which really was an outlaw promotion. It
Oh
was
wow.
called Kick Ass Wrestling, and its main goal was to spoof the Memphis legends like Bill Dundee and Jerry Lawler.
Oh,
That
that's
was
funny.
it, and it
Wow.
somehow got on TV. I don't know
Oh
how they
wow.
did it, but it was violent outlaw wrestling, and it was like they packed this New Daisy Theater. They would just put like
Really?
700. They drew like 750 people because it was wild,
Wow.
hardcore,
Yeah.
uh, fun and games, bullshit outlaw wrestling. But they worked their asses off and they drew
Wow.
good. Anyway, so Terry folded that and started Memphis Championship Wrestling, which was the developmental group, and everything's going along just fine. And then all of a sudden, Lawler goes, I just don't think Terry Golden is working out. And JR pulled the plug on it. And the reason is, and I said it to his face, I said, Jerry, it's now that Kick Ass Wrestling is dead, there's nobody goofing on you and Dundee anymore. Now you can put Terry Golden out of business. So anyway, Golden held me
Yeah.
responsible for it. I don't know how or why, but Terry was mad at
Really?
me. Yeah,
Oh.
it's one of those things that happens, right? Dave Johnson
Right.
mad at
Right.
you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I go to Russ's funeral, and of course, Haas brothers had wrestled in Memphis, and in fact, he was, had been a part of it. And Terry and I hadn't spoken in a while, and we saw each other at the funeral, and I tried to kind of bury the hatchet with him there, and it didn't
Still
go
mad.
over that well. He was
Oh
still
wow.
mad. And we never spoke.
Wow.
We never spoke again after that. And
Mm.
I was like, yeah, I don't need to go to any more funerals.
Yeah.
I
Exactly.
just want to remember the people of how they were,
Right.
and that's it. And I never had the
Mm.
urge, desire. Now, there would be some that I would go to. And I don't want to name names because that would be maudlin. But
Right. Right.
if we'll put it this way, Casey, when I die, would you go to my funeral? And the answer had better be no.
No.
Exactly.
You just
Exactly.
want me because you don't want to come all the way down to my funeral if I die. You don't want to feel obligated. Yeah,
Well,
I got you figured
yes,
out.
of course.
No, I mean, if you had, if something happened to you, probably yes, because our wrestling relationship has grown more into than
Yeah, I
just
know.
a wrestling friendship. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
So
Well, it would be It'll be a
But I'll see if
long
I can get
time
some
from now.
trans. I'd ask your wife for trans money, though.
Hey, wait a minute. No, no, no. There's not going to be envelopes handed out at the end of my ceremony. I can tell you that.
Oh, man, come on.
It doesn't work like that.
And you're probably going to
Um,
have the MGM, WCW MGM, WCW MGM cater in there too, right?
yeah, exactly. Nothing. So here's
Poor
an
bag of
idea that I
chips.
was okay. So here's the idea that I was thinking of. I don't know if you saw the news, but Vince Russo is a prominent featured character again and is the writer for Juggalo Championship Wrestling,
I
JCW,
heard about that.
and the show JCW Lunacy, and it airs on YouTube. And I've
Okay.
watched the last few episodes, and it's a fine wrestling program. There's name wrestlers galore on this show. I mean, gosh, they've got Kerry Morton.
Yeah,
They're
I
doing
saw that match.
yeah, they're doing some good things with him. He wrestled oh gosh, James Storm.
Yeah, I watched
Um,
that match. Yeah,
that was good. Yeah. So,
yeah,
but anyway, I was thinking like, well, first of all, they need baby faces to turn the tide against evil Vince Russo. You know what I mean? So who's it going to be?
yeah.
Um, but I thought of all places, that might be the perfect setting for the return to wrestling of Eddie Mansfield.
Oh wow.
I was just sort of like not necessarily connecting the dots because there is no connection between them.
Right.
But if you wanted to bring out controversy, they did it
Yeah.
with Vince Russo. And
Right.
then the next layer could be somebody like an Eddie Mansfield
Sure.
or,
And he
and
has
then
a lot of
who's
heat
after
from back in the day.
exactly who's this next layer and who was this guy that got blackballed? And you basically assemble this murderer's row of heels that would be mouthpieces, sometimes you see them,
Right.
sometimes you don't type of thing. But it would
Sure.
be like, man, that would be interesting. And I would watch that
Yeah.
because I know it's going to be a shoot and I don't know what's going to come out of so and so's mouth next.
Right.
And it's not like they're looking for a job,
Sure.
but this would be the perfect setting for them to come in to this is the ultimate outlaw wrestling. But
Yeah.
they're they're doing a good job with it. They're doing a good job of presenting this outlaw. My wife looked at it for a couple of seconds, and Dory looks at it. And she says, "It looks like a fun house. It looks like carnival wrestling,
Yeah.
like
Yeah. Yeah.
crazy
Yeah. It
with the
did.
ring way it's all." Anyway, I wanted to say that publicly because that's one of those things that if I put it into the universe, maybe it'll happen.
Yeah.
Um,
And just think of all the content, the show content for Jim Cornette, if that would happen too. He'd
well,
have Russo and Mansfield to talk about.
I know it. Which, by the way, would be another reason to do it because
Yeah.
Cornette has a pretty sizable audience.
Oh, I
And
think he's like the top guy, right?
yeah, I don't know what
I
the
mean, we
numbers would
push him a
be.
little, but hey,
Yeah,
yeah,
we're fighting up from underneath. Um,
yeah.
um, but that would be, I mean, why not? Why
Where
not
do they
at
run
least have,
shows at?
I think, well, they seem to tape like a bunch in one location. So they were most recently in Denver.
Oh, is that where that
Um,
was?
yeah, but I don't know if that's where they're going to tape all the time. It looked like a pretty neat setup for them.
Yeah, no, it
Small
was
ring,
interesting.
small
And
venue,
then,
people kind of tied up against
yeah,
it.
right, yeah,
It was cool.
yeah. Your wife was right that the ring apron looked like an old strip club with the black of the neon
Yeah,
things on it. Like it reminds you of going to a casino in Vegas.
yeah.
Their
It
carpet and everything.
it was wild, right? And that's
Yeah.
all part of
I was
the
looking, going through, and I stopped, and I'm like, "Oh, wow, what's this?" And I was like, "Oh,
yeah.
Juggalo, okay."
It's all part of the visual art that the Insane Clown Posse has brought. Think about their
Yeah.
icon, right? Their logo. I think most people have seen that logo. They may not be able to say what it is, but they've
Right.
probably seen that little guy, the little logo.
Yeah.
And they sell a lot of merch, and they sell a lot of art, and they sell a lot of music, and they still do good business. But anyway, I just wanted to
Have you ever
bring.
been on one of those gatherings? The big
No,
oh, they're
did you go?
crazy. No, I have a lot of friends that have. They're
Yeah,
like, oh man, it's gonna be a long weekend.
you'd wrestle at like 3 o'clock in the morning. Can you imagine? But
Yeah, I remember Warlord went to it once. He's like, whoa, brother.
yeah, they showed a match with the Young Bucks. It was from 2013 against a Midwest team. They wore masks. I can't remember what their names were. And Young Bucks were down, which was surprising to me. They
Oh
obviously got
wow.
paid. Yeah. And they come in and they put the local team over.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was like in Cave in Rock, Illinois, or whatever that town is.
Oh wow.
You can't get to it from here. But yeah,
Yeah,
interesting,
exactly.
fascinating stuff. All right, so let's get into the kind of the medical update, if we shall.
Yeah.
And of course, the first news that I saw was, and I wasn't sure if this is here's a point from Scott, which I agree with. Right, I'd support ICP before I'd support AEW or WWE at this point. You know why? You keep beating your head against the wall. Let's try something new. Let's
Hey, did you
give
see Tony Khan might be in a little bit of trouble? Did you see that?
with Sarah.
The big merger that's
Well,
might be happening.
okay. My understanding of it is that yes, Netflix has put a bid in to buy Warner Brothers. Okay, but it's the movie and not the TV.
Oh, okay.
So they would still
Oh, they're buying like
AW
the
would
Turner
still
home movie thing. Yeah, that.
kind of,
Yeah,
yes. AEW could potentially have two bosses out of this. They would have the um who's their current Warner Brothers. That would still be they would still control the television networks, and then
right,
Netflix might control the umbrella, kind of like TKO and WWE. You know what I
right.
mean?
Wow.
Anyway, it's big business. It's a multi-billion
Yeah.
dollar thing. Paramount's put out a $50 billion cash offer. It's like, what?
Wow.
It's big business.
I seen people talking about it like, what's he gonna do? Is he gonna buy his own station? Or is he gonna just go straight to YouTube, cut the cut the budget down and which still would be a big budget and
Sure.
people are like him on YouTube cut slash down would be more profitable probably.
Oh, definitely would be. But he's
I think that's the way I think that that's the way the landscape is going is to just streaming,
sure.
you know?
Absolutely.
Because I don't watch TV at all.
No. When you
Never.
look at
In years I haven't.
so TNA just signed excuse me, AMC is going to begin starting in January. They're going to be airing TNA wrestling. And
Really?
so
Wow.
congratulations to TNA. They told everybody they were going to get a TV deal. They got a TV deal.
Wow.
So they're going to be part of the AMC cable network. Excuse me. I don't know who
That's a big
owns
outlet.
it is. But
Yeah.
I always thought of it as of course it's now not American Movie Classics anymore. It's just
Yeah,
AMC.
like old people movie channels. I always thought it was.
Yeah. And um they so I don't know who owns AMC. Um
Right.
like what their parent company is. I'm coughing and I don't know why, damn it. Because it's so freaking cold.
Oh, is it cold there?
Brother. It's like
Wow.
20, it's like 10 to 20 degrees below average. And it has been for
Whoa.
a week and is going to continue through another week. Like tomorrow, the high is going to be 30 and the low
Oh, it's
tomorrow
64
night,
here right now.
Beautiful. And the low
It's
tomorrow
raining,
night
though.
here is 12.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
64 there, though. I'd like
Woo!
that.
Yeah. Yeah, 64. It started raining late last night into today. And yeah. Well, I was able to get out and I had to send some packages, so you know, watch your mail. Um yeah, Christmas is coming,
Yay.
the in-ring wrestling podcast Christmas party. So
Well, that's good.
it comes through the mail
Well,
Thursday.
thank you. Thank you very much in advance. Um, Speaking of, okay, so I do want to touch on this real quick before we give the medical update about our friend Bob Cook. College football has now entered a very interesting time because of the most recent college football playoff announcement, which
Oh wow.
was made noon Sunday, and the committee, which is controlled by ESPN and the Southeastern Conference. Okay.
Wow, that's strange, isn't it?
Well, what business have we worked in our whole lives? Nothing seems
Yeah.
strange to us, but to the people
Yeah,
that are
that's true.
college football fans, especially Notre Dame fans today, oh,
Mm.
they are ripshit. They're fuming
Oh, really?
because Notre Dame got screwed. So Notre Dame all year long has been a great team. They lost their first 2 games of the season. They lost their first game to Miami, and then they lost to Texas. And they didn't lose since then. And both of the games were very close in score. Team got better as the season went along, and by the end of the year, they're one of the best teams in the country. They were higher ranked than Miami. They were higher ranked than Alabama. Lo and
Wow.
behold, 2 weeks
They didn't
ago,
make the playoffs, I take it.
nope, 2 weeks ago, the rankings come out. And here's the Fugazi right here. Alabama played against Auburn in the Iron Bowl, looked crappy, won, but Auburn's a rotten team this year.
Oh,
Notre
wow.
Dame didn't play. Miami didn't play because that was their schedule. And Alabama jumped ahead of Notre Dame. Everybody should have seen the work right there because here it comes. So then Alabama goes to the SEC. It's all about the money, brother. But they may have, this is risky because Notre Dame can be, if it wanted to, it can be its own universe. This would be like if you had a wrestling tournament. We're going to have all the best pro wrestlers in the world, and we got commitments from every company. Even the WWE, yes. And then you leave the WWE champion out of the tournament. Well, what's WWE going to do? Well, screw you guys. We're not going to play in your sandbox
have my own tournament
anymore. I'll make my own tournament. Notre Dame.
Gosh.
Okay, so college football has, the Rose Bowl and the Orange Bowl and the Sugar Bowl, and they're tied into the playoff. So, like the quarterfinal, semifinal games, you go to the Sugar Bowl to play or the Orange Bowl.
Wow.
It's kind of neat, right? But there's a whole lower tier, the Peach Bowl and the Sandbox
Citrus
and the
Bowl.
Citrus Bowl and the Duke's Mayo Bowl, Pop-Tarts Bowl, whatever. And Notre Dame said, yeah, screw you, ESPN. We're opting out. We ain't playing. Because they talked to their players a couple of weeks ago when the Alabama screw job came through. And they said, hey, boys, if they pull one over on us, do you guys want to play in a college football bowl or what? And they were like, if we're not playing for the money, if we're not playing for the championship, we don't want it. And so that's what happened. So Notre Dame gets screwed out of the playoff, and they opted out. Not only that, 5 other teams have opted out, including Florida State.
Really?
Now, part of it is I don't think Florida State wanted to play another game because them and 3 other teams that were 5 and 7 all said, thanks, but no thanks. We're moving on to next year. We've got to, we've got to get better. We want that season to forget it. But now
it's funny. They're either really great or they suck.
Yeah, that's the way it's been. They were 13-0 a couple of years ago. They got hosed out of the playoff because their quarterback broke his leg. And yeah. So anyway, now Notre Dame knows.
So the quarterback broke his leg, and so even though they had a winning season, they said, "Oh, no."
Even though they were undefeated, won the ACC, won the and won with a backup quarterback. They'd won twice with a backup quarterback. Yeah, we think that it would be that they're not the same team. What a work is right.
Is Vince involved in this, I wonder?
Who?
Did Vince go into football again?
So Notre Dame is big enough on its own, Casey Thompson, that if they said, you know what if we started our own thing and we could get on NBC because NBC airs Notre Dame home games. And if any teams wanted to be part of the NBC league,
Notre Dame Bowl,
the Notre Dame basically will Vince Sr., Vincent J. McMahon, Toots Mondt, they could not get dates on Buddy Rogers. They couldn't get dates on him as the NWA champ. So you know what they did? They made their own champ, and that's where Bruno came from.
And that's where we're at today.
That's where we're at today. You couldn't get in.
Watch out, Notre Dame.
You make your own. I'm just telling you folks, because I'm reading all of these comments, and it's like, you people are marks. And I'm like, bless their hearts, though. They're not, their brains aren't wired the way ours are. If you read the story, you would say the exact same thing I'm saying.
Right.
Oh, yeah, this is such a work. And now they're just going to run opposition. That's all we're talking about.
Still drawing 80,000 people.
Yeah, except Notre Dame isn't an outlaw group. They're Notre freaking Dame.
Yeah, exactly.
Touchdown Jesus. They got more money than everybody. And they'll do it. And they'll have all the credibility in the world for doing it because you could see what was done to them in public, if you will. Anywho. So I want everybody to keep your eye on that.
Not the only one with drama.
No, it's constant. My friend Sarah Stock, who I love and had the pleasure of working with her in AEW. I want everybody to make sure you're reading what she's writing on Twitter, on X, because there's a lot of interesting information that she is putting out. She's making claims and she's naming names. And when you do something like that, you have either like a death wish and you don't care, or you have the truth on your side.
Right. You have proof.
If you want to sue me, go right ahead. I welcome the opportunity. Yeah, I welcome the opportunity.
Yeah. What is she saying?
Ooh. Well, she's talking about basically a dysfunctional society that has exploited and mistreated women and Hispanic wrestlers by forcing, in the case of the Mexican wrestlers, forcing them to stay in the country between Dynamite and Collision tapings and then only going home for like a day before having to come back to do the next week of AEW. So they're staying.
It has to do with visas, though?
No, it has to do with cost. Okay. And, they don't get a per diem. There's things that she's bringing up, which may or may not be factual. I have no idea. But
she's not with AEW no more, I take it.
Nope.
Oh, okay.
And she talks about HR and talks about dysfunctional, kind of the mistreatment and the blackballing of some women that have been there in the company.
Wow. Didn't whatchamacallit gotten kind of on the outs?
Which
the dentist?
Britt Baker. Yes, but she's still under contract. She's still getting paid.
Right, but isn't she kind of? Didn't she say something that put her on the outs or something for a while
Yeah.
now, right?
Tony said at a meeting right in front of me that he was mad at her for going on Twitter, X, whatever it's called, and knocking the company while Adam Cole was hurt. Adam Cole broke his ankle, broke his foot, broke his leg, whatever it was, and then was out there hobbling around the next week. And she said something about it publicly, voicing her displeasure as his girlfriend. And
Oh, okay.
Tony said, I am mad at her. Those are exact words. I am mad at her for
What are
what
you
she
doing? Like,
said.
good God, am I in high school again or what?
Yeah. I'm like, my first thought was, well, what would Vince do? This is what I said a lot there. What would Vince do?
What did Vince do? Exactly.
Vince would bring her back and would make money. But he
Right.
kept her home and still continues to keep her home and pay her. Anyway.
She's a shoot dentist too, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh, wow.
Shoot
So she
dentist.
probably goes to work and makes a living and gets paid again.
Yeah. She has
Wow.
a career. Dental.
Wow.
She's a dentist, not a hygienist
Oh,
or a
yeah, she's the top dog.
she's the one
Right.
who comes in at the end and pokes your teeth a little bit after the
And
hygienist has
makes the
cleaned
big
them.
money. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
And
Wow.
and
I wonder how many people went up to her and said, "Oh man, my tooth hurts," or this or that. Or
how many of the
she's looked at
boys?
anyone people. Yeah, 'cause you know the boys are going to do it. They're going to exploit anything possible.
Not anymore. I'm telling you,
Are you
Casey, the
serious? What's
the
wrong with these guys nowadays?
the business has changed. Nobody
Oh,
knows
let me
how to
have
get
my
over.
phone, play my video games.
Yeah.
Get yeah.
Nobody knows how to work anymore. I'm telling you. The boys in
Wow.
our day, they would have been lined up around they'd have been getting
Oh,
Novocaine
good
shots just
gosh.
because.
Oh yeah, can you write me a script? How
Yeah.
many of the boys would you? Imagine if she's in ECW. Hey, can you write me a script? My
Can
tooth hurts. Can I
my
get
tooth.
some Roxy's, oxycodone? The, yeah, everything.
Ay vey.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so they
You
don't
know
know how
what?
to work
I'm
anymore.
glad I'm not in the business no more because
We were
they're very disappointing.
They are very disappointing. I know these kids today. But anyway, so Sarah has been writing some pointed things, and I think it's worth reading them with an open mind and just following the story because I have no reason to think that she would have a reason to lie. I always found her to be a very honest, straightforward person, very clear minded, sober minded, and smart. So I'm interested to
I
see
know
where
that
all of this goes.
she has made comments because we've talked about her and she's liked it and this and that. So, Sarah, if you'd like to come on and talk about it, 8 o'clock
Oh,
on Sunday nights,
I'll reach out
anytime.
to her. I'll try to set that
Yeah,
up.
why not?
She's
Sure.
I she's awesome. Are you kidding me? She's one of the top people I've ever worked with in the business in terms of just like
Wow.
when you're around you're just like, okay, this is somebody that gets it on
Right.
every single level and sees the big picture at all times.
And she's a
Never
girl. Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
never is
Yeah,
a
that's awesome.
mark,
Yeah.
right.
Right.
Never
Right.
is a mark for a moment, but will
Right.
recognize the moment as being this is what we want to work toward. Let's
Wow.
not settle.
Nice.
Let's not settle for here. Let's get
Right.
to here, but let's get to here smartly and safely. So that's what set
Okay.
her apart in my mind. Anyway, um,
Wow.
so the medical update about our
Oh,
friend Bob
yes.
Cook, who just
Yeah.
before, right around Thanksgiving, put up on Facebook that, we saw the IV in his hand, and
Yeah.
I wasn't sure what he was getting at. I thought maybe it was like he was saying something
Yeah, I
happened to his
didn't
heart.
either, because he's always talking about dying and
Yeah.
this and that. Oh, always, but that's just Bob. That's just how Bob is.
Hmm.
And I shot him a
Nope.
text. I said, "Hey, bro, you okay?" He's like, "Yeah, man." I did see another post where he had a heart attack. He says my lifestyle he lives, and I'm sure he's referring to the Mountain Dew that he drinks
Right.
compulsively. And um, then I guess the next day or so, they had to go in and put a stent in for some blockage or something.
Mm-hmm.
So I shot him a text and I'm like, "Hey bud," I say, "Buddy, I just want to make sure you're okay. How you doing?" And he's like, he said, "I'm all right. I'm doing better now." He says, "I just got released. I just got home from the hospital." This was a couple days afterwards. So he was at the hospital for a couple days. He says he's like he's doing better. So I every couple days I'll check in and say, "Hey, buddy," and I said, "Listen, is there anything you need or anything I can do for you? Please just, let me know. I'm, here." He's like, I really appreciate it and all that. So,
Mm-hmm.
I guess he's on the mend. So, which is good. So, but, I'm sure he still needs your, thoughts and prayers and good wishes and, you know, whatever you believe or all
Right.
that kind of stuff. So,
Bob is
but,
very active. Bob Cook is very active on Facebook. And he's
yes.
also a huge Evil Knievel fan,
Oh, he
motorcycle
was friends with
daredevil,
Evil Knievel.
friends
Yeah.
with him, has Facebook pages set up for him. So,
He used
um,
to always wear this gold nugget watch. I don't think it even worked, and it was Evil Knievel in it.
yeah,
And we'd always I would always say, "I'm not gonna freaking steal your watch. You better not touch my watch." Yeah, that whole kind of thing. So, and he actually watches and comments on our show a lot.
he does. He
He was
does.
in the chat.
I know.
Man, was it last week?
A couple of weeks. It was right before he got sick.
Yeah, it was like maybe we gave him a heart attack. Our show did or
I
something.
don't know what you said to him. I don't know what you did, but you obviously did something
Yeah,
to make the poor man upset. Look at where he is
yeah.
now, the state that he's in.
Yeah, but hopefully he's on the rise and he's making the big comeback, ready to
Right.
make that hot tag and get back with everything.
And of
So
course, Bob has been a guest here on the show. Somebody that hasn't been a guest yet, but we were planning on him being a guest is
yeah,
somebody that you may remember from, WCW. He was always kind of there in the early mid 90s. Um
2000s.
and it was yeah, 2000 and on Joe Gomez.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah,
tell
cuz
us, okay, so fans
yeah,
may not know who Joe Gomez is. Tell me his story. Tell us his relationship to the business. Was he
okay.
family with somebody? How did he get in?
No, no, he just a Tampa guy, just got in the business and I remember when I was doing TV for WCW in the 90s, he was up there as Iron Allen Eagle and he was the wheel man for Flair and it was pretty much Flair, Arn, Bobby Eaton, and Pee Wee, and Joe was the guy that had to go get the beers, put them on ice, and had to do the driving and everything, and um, just friends and knows anybody at the performance center all the way through buddies with Johnny Ace and you name it, everyone knows Joe Gomez.
Right.
Literally, I was sitting at a club one night with Joe in the VIP section, and we're talking and everything and he's like, "Yeah, this is my buddy Jose," and we're talking for 15, 20 minutes. "Yeah, I know Jose from Tampa, this and that." Then I was realizing it was Jose Canseco that we're
Yeah.
sitting there talking for 20 minutes with. Super nice guy to me, probably because
Yeah.
I knew Joe, but if I didn't know him, he has his twin brother as an asshole, but Jose Seiko, he was a really cool guy. I mean, everyone knows Joe. So we were just talking about having Joe on the show. This is back in right before October and like September.
Yeah.
I called Joe. I'm like, "Hey, Joe." He's like, "Hi." I'm like, "Man, I see you fucked up." Like, thought he might have been drinking because, the big Indian has like a very slow tolerance for, anything. He doesn't really drink a lot. If you drink a beer or two, he's like all wrecked. He's like, "No, I just had a stroke." And I'm like, "Whoa." He's like, "Yeah, I just had a stroke, like yesterday, day before." I'm like, "Why are you answering the phone?" I said, "Are you doing
Yeah.
okay?" "Yeah, yeah, everything's good, man. I love you. I'm gonna come on your podcast soon, and this and that, all this." And I text him. I called him a couple times after he didn't answer, and it could be because maybe he's has issues talking now or so. I don't know. I don't know the whole story is.
Right.
But then on Facebook, one of the old WCW WWF referees, Billy Silverman,
Yes.
put a picture. Hey, prayers for, Joe Gomez. He's recovering from stroke. And I'm like, Billy, I said, did he have another one? Or he's like, oh, well, Rick told me that, I guess he's seen Rick out at the Starcast or whatever the Thanksgiving thing is. And he's referring to that one, but was just putting it out there and everything. And so I'm like, oh, okay. So I've been texting Joe a lot, and he's like, "Yeah, this was Friday." He's like, I said, "Hey, Joe, man, how you doing?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "I'm actually just got home from the rehabilitation center he's been staying at since I talked to him the last time. He was
Wow.
in rehab the whole time." So, but he says, "Yeah, man." He says, I'm doing better. I'm just got home." And Joe is best friends with Ric Flair, and he's like, "Yeah, Nate. Oh man, he's gonna want to stay out all night, and then, all kinds of stuff." He's like, "I go hang out with Nate and do this and all that stuff." And he was, when Kevin Sullivan was going through well, everyone knows about it. Kevin Sullivan was going through that whole things with Nancy Woman, where they're going through a
Hmm.
divorce and all that, which was very publicized on WCW TV with Chris Benoit and everything. Um,
Yeah.
Kevin Sullivan was living with Joe Gomez at his place in Tampa, and was his roommate, and he let him stay with them and everything. So I mean, he knows everyone. Super, super nice guy. I remember the one time first time I sat down and talked to him, and I'm thinking afterwards, I said, "Hmm, this guy's like the nicest guy I ever met in my life.
Yeah.
No one's that nice."
I know.
I said, either he's full of shit or he's the nicest guy ever in my life. I swear to
Right.
God. And
Yeah.
I've told him this a million times, like, "Nah, bro." He's in So, and it happens to be that's him. He's just the nicest guy in the world.
I've never heard anybody
And
say something bad about Joe Gomez unless out of jealousy because of who he was hanging with or whatever. But
yeah, and I'll be like talking, and Joe had some times where he was down his luck. He got into some stuff and went away for a few years, like 2 years down in prison. I was his only friend that could go see him. So this is when Chase was in the car carrier. I would go down to down prison down in Miami, and go see Joe. So I have a really close relationship with him, because I would go and he would call me like, "Hey man, bring me some Copenhagen and a blue bandana and this, and just throw it by Chase's diaper and I'll get it out and everything." So I mean, Chase would go into prison when he was in the car
oh,
carrier
nice.
to see one of the wrestlers.
Uncle Joe.
But yeah, and he's been to my house, and went and had went pizza places with my friend, with my kids and everything. And we're talking about weight, and he's like, it's like, "Joe, man, you gotta, he's like, I'm trying to get back in the gym, and then I said, "You gotta lose some weight." It's like, "Yeah, Case," he says, "you know how we like to eat." He loves to eat. And so, and he told me, he's like, "Whatever you do," he says, "please, whatever you ever never listen to me at anything, but please make sure you look out for your blood pressure." He said, kind of that's what got him on his stroke,
Yeah.
was the blood pressure and everything. So,
Right.
but he's on the men's too. And the way I was brought it up, the way I came up to it was my other friend of ours, Bugsy McGraw. Bugsy kind of just disappeared for like a while. I would call him and talk to him all the time, and then text him and nothing. And apparently he lost all of his phone numbers.
Oh.
And during that time, he had um, got a bacterial infection, and they had to uh, self-induce a coma. And he was in a coma. He was in the hospital for 6 weeks. And I called him once. He answered the phone, and he's like, I said, "Hey, how's going?" "Oh, I'm better. I just got home from the hospital.
Hmm.
I think he had a stroke too,
Ooh.
a little mini stroke, and it caused all kinds of stuff."
Much more
And
common. Much more common in older. So
he's
Bugsy's 80,
81 years old.
81.
81 years old.
So
Yeah,
you
I
have
was there with his.
a TIA,
Yeah,
as they're called, little mini strokes, trans
yeah.
ischemic
So
something.
yeah, yeah.
But when you're Joe
We don't know
Gomez's age and you have a stroke, it's usually much bigger a deal. So
that. Right,
that's
right.
kind of like the
So,
two ends of it.
and that's how I was talking to um Bugsy about it. So I called Joe, and that's how I found out Joe had one. And I was like, oh, so and Bugsy, he's doing. He last I was with him a few weeks ago on his birthday, 81 years old. He was using a walker, zooming around and stuff, but
Mm-hmm.
sharp as a tack. I mean, um, just he's a wealth of knowledge, and just and he doesn't. If he likes the guy, he'll tell you. If he didn't like him, he'll tell you that too. He's not shy about it,
Mm-hmm.
and he's he's doing good too. So and he's so it's very sad this thing's happened to people, but I guess it's just part of growing old in life and this and that. I guess whatever you can do,
Yeah.
you do what you can to for it never happens, but it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. There's nothing you can do about it in the end, if
Right.
it's meant to happen, so but all of them are doing better, and they're making their big comeback right now, I guess.
Good. Well,
So, which is great.
we definitely want to get down. I know I want to get down and meet Bugsy. Um,
Oh, yeah.
and
Oh,
would love to like us sit down with him, three of us mic'd
sure.
up, camera,
Yeah,
and let's just talk.
just talk. Yeah,
Let's ask him
exactly. Oh,
questions because I think people would find it fascinating. I know I would.
yes.
And
And there's not many guys around anymore.
right.
There's very, very few of them around that has that knowledge, and the stories he has from, San Francisco, you know, Joe I mean, all those guys, all the territories. He's really, really big in Canada in the day. He was like
Yes.
one of the top stars, not even wrestlers, just stars in Canada. And I mean, he's wrestled all the territories, was really good friends with Dusty. And I mean, he's been to everything that we all watched and loved growing up. Those are all the territories he was in. And it was just,
Right.
it's just
It would
awesome.
seem it
So,
would seem weird when you'd see Bugsy McGraw pop up in another territory, but like he was there in Memphis. And I was like,
right.
huh? Or you would see him like I was psyched when he was on like the Starcade card and not
Posters
kind of
hanging in
knowing,
his Yeah, posters hanging in his apartment, his
yeah,
condo.
not knowing how the business was changing with Crockett, with his Booker becoming Dusty, and Dusty and of course loved Bugsy McGraw and was going to and continued to use him, had him all the way through. Um, anyway, we need to make sure that we do that. So shopping list, we need to make sure that we're down there to see Bugsy.
Mm,
And when Joe is feeling good
right.
and comfortable with it, let's get him on so we can obviously talk to him and
Yeah,
introduce
he's
our
got a
audience to
lot of
him.
great stories too.
Yeah,
A
are
lot
you
of great
kidding? It'd
stories.
be amazing. And
Yeah.
we'll get Bob Cook back on so that he can give us the
Yeah.
medical update about how he's on the straight and narrow now and he's off the Mountain Dew.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. I don't
Listen,
know 100%, but
all right, I
we'll
need
have
you
to
to help
find
me with
out from.
this. Last thing I want to do here, Kevin. Thoughts on these three wrestlers? Number one, Obafemi. Number two, Ethan Page. Number three, Kendall Gray. I don't know Kendall Gray. Do you know who Kendall Gray is, Casey?
Negative.
Okay. Obafemi's
Kendall Windham, yes.
yes, Kendall Windham, yes, Jerry
Yeah.
Gray, yes, but Kendall Gray, no.
Yes. Sorry.
Obafemi, star, mega money, superstar, looks incredible, menacing, everything that you would want in a star has it, just
Oh,
moves,
wow.
exudes, coming out of his pores, just it.
Right.
Ethan Page is somebody that I have literally known 12, 14 years and has for a long time was kicking around. Casey, this guy was forever trying, knocking at the door and got in better shape, just elevated his look. but didn't really change that much about him. And he doesn't age, which is another good thing. He doesn't look like he's been
Yeah.
wrestling for 15 years, 20 years at this
Yeah.
point. He looks the same, but damn if they didn't just take to him and now all of a sudden he's a top guy in NXT. And
Oh, wow.
yeah,
Good
and
for
it
him.
it he just stuck with it. Persistence, patience, never gave up.
Yeah.
Was in AEW for quite a while
I
and
thought he was, yeah.
did some things, did some stuff. And then when I was there, he was trying to get reestablished, and he was like, "I'll move to the Ring of Honor brand because I'd rather be the top guy in Ring of Honor than in the middle bottom of AEW." And it was
Where you're gonna
brilliant,
get lost in the shuffle.
yeah. And it looked like that was what was going to happen. And he had a match on TV with MJF that didn't really go anywhere. Then his contract ran out, and that was it. And was in TNA, and then got signed, and now he's in NXT, and he's killing it. So that's good. But I
Wow.
am going to have to look up Kendall Gray and see if I can find more about their work. So there you
Did
go.
you see who signed with WWE?
No, who?
You say his name and he appears?
Beetlejuice? No, I know. Joe Hendry. Now,
Yes.
I thought, okay, so I saw that just
I
yesterday.
love Joe Hendry.
He's great. I
Yeah, I
thought,
mean, I just like because I literally get stuck sometimes. I get in that little rabbit hole of all the say his name and he appeared, and they used it for everything with
yeah,
NXT and all that when they're doing the crossover. And I think he's money. I think WWE could take it and make him a mega star if they do it the right way.
yes.
And he would be. I think he's just he's not the greatest worker in the world, but either
Nope,
was The Rock, either was Stone Cold.
nope.
But they became mega stars
I don't
because
know
they
how,
have it.
yeah. The only thing that I don't get is how is Joe Hendry like so super strong that he can have two guys on him and oh, people say, okay, sorry. I'm reading this and I should be putting it up on the screen. People say Kendall Gray is the female Kurt Angle in NXT. Well, I'm interested. She was an amateur
Okay.
wrestler. I'm interested. I'll
Oh.
definitely check that out. Um, the thing with Joe Hendry is
Oh,
like
Kendall Gray
yeah.
was her sister an Olympian, I wonder?
I don't know. I
Um,
could probably Google
like
it.
6-time world champion? I think it was. Her sister was, last name's Gray. Uh, I'm losing my mind. I'm so far out of the amateur wrestling realms.
Peyton.
But
Her name is Peyton Prussian. She's Kendall Gray. She's a member of the No Quarter Catch Crew stable. She is currently the Evolve champion. 24 years old from Vegas.
oh, I'm not the same one then.
She's legit. Next, she was in the NIL program, so good for her.
Oh,
And
okay.
yeah, she just won the Iron Survivor Challenge, which is why she's top of mind and headline news. So yeah, obviously they see big
Okay.
things in her. Um, and she has a legitimate shoot background, and that's pretty much what you want. And I do like the fact that the NIL program is paying dividends, not just for
Yeah.
a little placeholder deal where they get a little bit of money and yes, they can, afford groceries and not starve to death, but at the same time that they're actively looking at it as a pipeline. Because
Wow.
time and time again, we would start things or have ideas for things, and Vince would lose patience or forget about it. And then all of a sudden, never remember, like, forget the conversation about starting this. Why
Right.
are we doing
Wow.
this? So it's good. It's good to see that, again, athletes in this program, there's a path, there's a way forward.
I wish it was like that in my day.
You, brother, you and I both.
Yeah.
I,
You
I
know,
know.
you know what? So one of the shorts went up that it was talking about the rent a car that got destroyed, right?
Yeah.
Told the story last week. So one of the guys that was in the rent a car calls me Like,
Uh-huh.
"Oh, yeah." He's like, I'm like, "Yeah." I said, "Man," I said, "that trip cost me a lot of money." He's, "What do you mean?" "No, it didn't." I'm like, "Yeah, it did." And I'm like, he's, "What do you mean?" I said, "Future bookings." He's like, "No, what do you mean? What are you talking about?" I said, "I was getting booked all the time, and then after that rent-a-car came back, the booking stopped for a lot, many years. It stopped." He's like, "Oh, come on, you can't." I'm like, thinking in my head, I could have sued people over that for loss of a future income because that's how it is. I lost future income because of a couple guys destroying a rent-a-car, the
Yeah.
inside of it.
Well, I think they should
Just
just
it is what it is.
make good, and send you a check.
Yeah, that's not even the point I was getting at. It is what it is part of the my story of wrestling. So it makes for a good story on a podcast. But but yeah, I did lose money because of you know they tore up my rent a car
Sure.
because I had no insurance because WWE paid for it.
Put it this way. If okay, if I was responsible for hiring the extras, as I was at one point, and word got back to me that a rental car that was in your name was destroyed, well, because I know you, first thing I would do is call you and basically say,
Yeah,
"What the F?" And you would have to be honest with me and tell me who did it, so I would never book
right,
them
right.
again. But if I couldn't give Bruce or JR or whatever a legitimate answer, you would be persona non grata. I wouldn't be
Oh
able to
yeah,
bring you to TV
right.
because, oh, this is the guy that destroyed the rental car?
And it's
No, it
not
wasn't.
even because the rental cars are in the boy's name. It just happened to be I was so young that they sent a voucher, so the car was in WWF's name.
Yes,
So it was their rent a car.
but
you know?
it changed,
Yeah,
so yeah, if we're renting cars and a car gets wrecked, it's going to be under the WWF's bill. They
right.
you know, so it would have been would have been presumptuous on my part to say, "Oh, there's no heat at all, Casey. Don't worry about it. Come on back." But
Yeah.
yeah, of course. And I'm certainly going to leave you home long enough till people forget about it,
Oh yeah, yeah.
which is
Well,
which
I
I
think
might
he's
say
a
3 months, but then turns into 6 because I get busy and distracted.
right,
That's
which
a lot
turns
of
into a
money.
year or two. Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
But I think he's just mad because he wrestled a double shot. He had one night off, so he gets paid. And then the second night he wrestled in a tag team match against the Nasty Boys. And so and he was trained by a little by Jerry Gray, then Blackjack Mulligan, kind of polished him, finished him off and everything.
Mhm.
And and you gotta realize he was 6'9", like 330 pounds, right?
Wow.
And so he's wearing black and like, "Oh, you can't wear black." "What do you mean?" "You can't wear the same thing they're wearing, and they're over, so you have to change." She's like, "I got nothing else." And one of my other buddies said, "I got something for you, a singlet." It was a half and half, half baby powder blue, half banana yellow. So he's wearing it, walking around. He's walking around, people are stopping him like, "What the hell?" Yeah. So, and then he goes up to the Nasty Boys. He's like, "Hey guys, it's TV and everything. Let's lay it all in, make it look good." They beat the shit out of him,
I'm sure.
and he took it all and didn't say a word. Went up afterwards, "Hey, thank you," and they're like, "All right, cool, thanks, man, good job." Well, they said, "Man, I had shoe prints on my head that you could see like a week later." But
Damn.
he's like, "Hey, I told him to, so why not?"
Right. Oh,
Oh,
that's awesome. All right.
and then we're driving back. And we're like, "It's your turn to drive. Listen, we're on I-10. We're coming from Alabama. We're on I-10. When you come up to 75, you're going
Mhm.
I-10 west. When you come to 75, go 75 south. Don't pass 75
Oh,
because we
no.
live in Orlando. Don't pass 75 because you're going to end up on 95, and that's going to take us an extra hour, 2 hours out of the way because we have to circle back."
Yep.
He's like, "I'm in the front seat sleeping, the two guys in the back, and he's like, Casey, Casey." I'm like, "What?" "I think I fucked up." Like, what? And he's like, I'm in Jacksonville. And the guy in the back,
Oh,
you stupid. He's like, and I'm tired. We're like, nah, you're driving the rest. We made him drive the rest of the way home because we're like, you messed up. We could have been home.
yeah.
And so we made him drive the rest of the way and everything.
So you go
Like,
10,
we
10
still
east to
talk about,
95, 10 east to 95 south to come swing around and
yeah, to
yeesh,
go instead of 75 going the straight shot, we had to go 95 to the coast and circle back to the middle. So
bad
yeah, it was
job. Powder blue
yeah,
banana.
so he was smizzing and not realizing what he was doing at all and just kept on driving, having a good time.
Well, there you go. All right,
Yeah.
Casey, I need to put a wrap on this thing because I got to get up bright and early. I got to be a
Oh
functioning
yes, the
adult.
early morning. Yeah,
But we
work
covered a
sucks, but you
I
gotta do it,
know.
I guess.
We covered a lot of ground. We got a lot of good material out tonight in a short period of time, so I'm very happy with that. And we'll look to get some more medical updates on our friends, and we'll continue to spread positive news wherever we can, and put people over and tell everybody who we think is great, and bury the
Sure.
people that we didn't like, which is very few, because we liked people, and everybody kind of liked
Yeah.
us, so it was like, I don't have a problem with them. I don't have.
Yeah.
Nobody ever pulled a
Why
gun
not?
on me. Nobody ever beat me up.
Mm,
You know,
mm,
you had a couple guns pulled on you.
here and there. Little
Maybe
this, little that. But it's all good.
it's all good.
Half of them I
I
don't
want to hear
remember
about
and
that next week.
yeah.
Life or death with Casey Thompson.
Yes, exactly.
All right, my boy. Well, thank you again so much. And thanks to all of you. Thank you, everybody in the chat. Thanks for everybody watching these on YouTube, where you can like, share, subscribe, and click that notification bell as well, because when new content goes up from the In Ring Wrestling Podcast on YouTube, you'll be the first to know. Don't you want to be first?
Right.
So make sure you're doing all of that, plus telling everyone you know, people you don't know. It's a great way to make friends. The In Ring Wrestling Podcast. So for Casey Thompson, I'm Kevin Kelly, and we'll see you next week. Enjoy the new theme, the new entrance and exit music here, the In Ring Wrestling Podcast. We'll see you next time.
Yes, sir.